यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शतश्री श्रीमद् शिल भई चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी जगद्गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदायाचार्य वृंद की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की अमल पुराण श्रीमद् भागवतम की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. वंदे गुरून् ईश भक्तान् ईशम् ईशवतारकान् तत्प्रकाशां सतत्शक्ति कृष्ण चैतन्य संज्ञकम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरोभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। मदेकबन्धुमत्सङ्गीन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधना। मन्निस्तारकमद्भाग्य मदानन्दनमस्तु ते। असाधु साधुतादायिन् अतिनीचोचतारक हानमञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्णारित्कण्ठया स्फुरा। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So today we will continue reading from Canto 1, Chapter 18, Parīkṣit cursed by a Brahmana boy, text number 47. apāpeṣu sva-bhṛtyeṣu bālenāpakva-buddhinā pāpam kṛtam tad bhagavān sarva-ātmā kṣantum arhati apāpeṣu sva-bhṛtyeṣu bālenāpakva-buddhinā pāpam kṛtam tad bhagavān sarva-ātmā kṣantum arhati apāpeṣu sva-bhṛtyeṣu bālenāpakva-buddhinā pāpam kṛtam tad bhagavān sarva-ātmā kṣantum arhati. Please repeat. bālenāpakva-buddhinā pāpam kṛtam tad bhagavān sarva-ātmā kṣantum arhati. Mataji's. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Ṛṣi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Apāpeṣu, unto one who is completely free from all sins. Sva-bhṛtyeṣu, unto one who is subordinate and deserve to be protected. Bālena, by a child. Apakva, who is immature. Buddhinā, by intelligence. Pāpam, sinful act. Kṛtam, has been done. Tat bhagavān, therefore the personality of Godhead. Sarva-ātmā, who is all-pervading. Kṣantum, just to pardon. Arhati, deserve. Translation. Then the Rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. Purport. Everyone is responsible for his own action, either pious or sinful. Ṛṣi Śamīka could foresee that his son had committed a great sin by cursing Mahārāja Parīkṣit, who deserved to be protected by the brāhmaṇas, for he was a pious ruler and completely free from all sins because of his being a first-class devotee of the Lord. When an offense is done unto the devotee of the Lord, it is very difficult to overcome the reaction. The brāhmaṇas, being at the head of the social order, are meant to give protection to their subordinates and not to curse them. There are occasions when a brāhmana may furiously curse a subordinate kshatriya or vaishya, etc. But in the case of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, there are no grounds, as already explained. The foolish boy had done it out of sheer vanity in being a brāhmana's son, and thus he became liable to be punished by the law of God. The Lord never forgives a person who condemns his pure devotee. Therefore, by cursing a king, the foolish Shringi had committed not only a sin but also the greatest offense. Therefore, the Rishi could foresee that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead could save his boy and from his sinful act.
He therefore directly prayed for pardon from the Supreme Lord, who alone can undo a thing which is impossible to change. The appeal was made in the name of a foolish boy who had developed no intelligence at all. A question may be raised herein that since it was the desire of the Lord that Parīkṣit Maharaj be put into that awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a brāhmaṇa's son made responsible for his offensive act? The answer is that the offensive act was performed by a child only so that he could be excused very easily, and thus the prayer of the father was accepted. But if the question is raised why the Brahmana community as a whole was made responsible for allowing Kali into the world affairs, the answer is given in the Varaha Purana that the demons who acted inimically toward the personality of Godhead but were not killed by the Lord were allowed to take bath in the families of brāhmaṇas to take advantage of the age of Kali. The all-merciful Lord gave them a chance to have their births in the family of pious brāhmaṇas so that they could progress towards salvation. But the demons, instead of utilizing the good opportunity, misused the Brahminical culture due to being puffed up by vanity in becoming brāhmaṇas. The typical example is the son of Śamīka Rishi, and all the foolish sons of brāhmaṇas are warned hereby not to become as foolish as Shringi and be always on guard against the demoniac qualities which they had in their previous births. The foolish boy was, of course, excused by the Lord, but others who may not have a father like Śamīka Rishi will be put into great difficulty if they misuse the advantage obtained by birth in a Brahmana family. So, this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam is highly instructive. This is the episode where we learn that a true spiritual master does not flatter his disciple or a very rich man. And a true spiritual master, he sincerely guides the disciples for the progress in the path of Krishna consciousness. That is very clearly noted when Vidura he returned back to Hastinapur, and after being greeted in royal order, continued to stay in Yudhishthir's palace, not with a desire to enjoy the royal opulence. So actually he was more interested to see how he could rescue his brother Dhritarashtra. So in that way he was telling the truth to Dhritarashtra that you are surviving by eating the remnants from Bhima, just like a watchdog. You are sitting at home and waiting to get a meal from him. You should not be doing that, because now this is time for you to get out from this house. Go and spend rest of your life cultivating Krishna consciousness
and go back to Godhead. And he was helping him. So we can see here in this particular section, it is explained that Shringi, he cursed Mahārāja Parīkṣit. And Shringi was a qualified brāhmaṇa boy. When he cursed a king, who is the king? Mahārāja Parīkṣit. And the qualification of Mahārāja Parīkṣit have been discussed, that he was a pious ruler, he was a pure devotee of the Lord. That is his qualification. Then, when we discuss about a person who is pure and he is a perfect devotee of the Lord, then how we should deal with him? On the other hand, we can say, our acharyas, they explain that Lord Krishna becomes very angry at those who plots against his devotees. This is the message. And the consequence of plotting against the devotees of the Lord is sarvanāsa bhavishyati. That person will meet with complete ruination. His life will be completely ruined. That Lord will ensure that you rascal, harassing my devotee, you are plotting against my devotee, I am going to give you a good lesson. Until you learn that how dangerous it is to harass my devotee, I will keep on giving you lesson one after another. This is the message. We have seen in the life of the Kauravas, this Duryodhana and party, what did that not do? They were always against Pandavas. Pandavas were ananya vishayatmanam. Ananya vishayatmanam means they had no other business in their life except being fully devoted unto Krishna and doing everything for Krishna's pleasure. That is called ananya vishayatmanam, no anya vishaya. Even in their mind, they did not think of anything else. So they were such a devotee of the Lord. And this Dhritarashtra, he joined with his son, thinking he was still attached to enjoy this kingly opulence. Right? Even though after Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king, still he wanted to enjoy this kingly opulence. And Maharaj Yudhishthira would address him, Rajan, king, his uncle. But this man was very happy. So you can see, but here the message is, when the Pandavas, they plotted against the Kauravas, when they plotted against Pandavas, then Krishna, he came on the way. Krishna never leaves his devotees. This is for sure. We need to understand this. The problem is, we don't have faith on Krishna, Krishna's words. And we read from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, from other Vedic literature, and we apply our intelligence. How much, what I should accept, how I should guide my life. Not that I want to follow as it is. Right? This is the nature of a conditioned soul.
A conditioned soul, he is conditioned to think, I can adjust my situation and I can live happily and comfortably. He totally forgets that you are under the clutches of material energy. You are not out of the law, stringent law of this material world. Krishna has already defined everything. Boundary is already there. Laws are already there. Everything is working in full swing. You cannot escape. Do you know, understand this? No, because I am a conditioned soul. I am attached to my conditioned desires. That's why I keep on moving around, adjusting the situations. How far? Until you get a good lesson. And then by that time, there is no time. You felt afterwards, oh, I made a big mistake in my life. Why did I not become serious since I joined in Krishna consciousness movement? Kaurava, they had all sort of facilities, material opulence, everything, and they were thinking they can get away with Pandavas. Krishna wanted to see that Yudhishthira Maharaj becomes the king of Hastinapur. Right? Yudhishthira, our Maharaj Dhritarashtra, he was the king. He was taking the decisions. And he was listening to Duryodhana. He had 100 sons. Son like Dushasan had strength of 10,000 elephants. Again, grandfather Bhishma Devi is there by the side. Can you imagine? Bhakta drohe bhagavān krudhyati tena sarva-nāsa bhavishyati. This Śamīka Rishi is thinking, Mahārāja Parīkṣit is a pure devotee of the Lord. Now, my son, out of ignorance, he doesn't have a matured intelligence. He has committed a big mistake. Now, it is my duty to beg pardon on his behalf from the Lord. Because bhagavān, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, have been described here as sarva-ātmā. Sarva-ātmā means who resides in the heart of every living entity. He is the benefactor of all. He is in the heart of Mahārāja Parīkṣit. He is also in the heart of my ignorant child. My ignorant child has committed this mistake. Therefore, I should beg pardon from the Lord. Here is another lesson for us, that an innocent child, when he commits a mistake, then it is the duty of the father to ensure that child is rescued from the mistake. As Prabhupada begins the purport by saying, everyone is responsible for his own action, either pious or sinful. Ṛṣi Śamīka could foresee that his son had committed a great sin by cursing Mahārāja Parīkṣit, who deserved to be protected by brāhmaṇas, for he was a pious ruler and completely free from all sins because of his being a first-class devotee of the Lord. And then later on he discusses, he was very much concerned about his son, that this boy unknowingly committed a big mistake. Therefore, he deserves to be excused, and it is the duty of the father. Not that being a father, he doesn't take care of the children when children commit mistakes, sinful activities, and feels, oh, they are children, what to do? No, they are children, they might commit mistake. Now, as a father, what is your responsibility? Here you can see. This is what it is, you can see directly, clearly. Śamīka Rishi, he is kind of held responsible. He feels that I am held responsible. So he is praying to the Lord for the protection. Otherwise, sarva-nāsa bhavishyati. Prabhupada explains, this is the offense actually. When we plot against other devotees, we are committing a Vaishnava aparad. And the Vaishnava aparad is very severe. We have seen again Durvasa Muni committed Vaishnava aparad unto Ambarish Maharaj. He went on roaming around the three worlds, but Sudarshan Chakra would not leave him. Very dangerous situation. But sometimes what happens, we make our own calculation. Oh, he is not so advanced. I see how he talks, how he behaves. So we keep judging other devotees according to our understanding, our merits. But there is a very subtle thing to take a note on this. See, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Je jathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. When a devotee takes shelter unto Krishna, Krishna reciprocates with his devotees to the level of, to the degree of their surrender. That means, at any given time, a devotee of the Lord is under the care and protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That you agree or not? Je jathamam prapadyante. To the degree he has surrendered, Krishna is going to give him shelter and protection. That's Krishna's words. Nobody is outside. I mean, one who has taken shelter of Krishna, he is not outside of Krishna's protection. Whether he is getting this much protection or he is getting that much protection, that business is between Krishna and him. We don't have to worry about that part. But he actually is protected by Krishna. Right? Agree or not? Yes. So then when he is under the protection of Krishna, who are you to judge? No, he is speaking like this, he is doing like this, he is doing like that. Therefore I can act like this. Therefore I can do like this to him. Actually what happens, we create misfortune for ourselves in that situation. Therefore, dharmasya tattva nihitam guhayam mahājana jena gatasya pantha. It's very difficult if this material world makes us forget about how serious we should become as a devotee of the Lord. And we don't take things seriously. Once we have some position, some wealth, some followers, then we start to act whimsically. That is not correct. Krishna will not leave us. Sarva-nāsa bhavishyati. That is the word of the acharyas. Many times what happens is, we don't know, as I said, there is a very subtle aspect to be seen in such a situation. When a devotee, he is acting in an abrupt manner. For example, here let us speak about Mahārāja Parīkṣit. Okay? Apparently speaking, how do you dare to put a dead snake in the neck of a rishi who is in samadhi? He is in trance. How can you do that? Definitely that is not disabled. That's a very abominable act. Right? But again, sometimes the pure devotees of the Lord are driven by the will of the Lord. What Lord wants to do with them, that's the business between Lord and that devotee. We may be externally judging, yes, in your calculations, correct, he has committed a mistake. But his mistake is not the mistake that other people perform. right? But we don't have eyes to see that. Whether he is committing that mistake being driven by the will of the Lord, or he himself being driven by his own false ego, he is doing that we don't have the power to see. Right? Does it make sense? Yeah, we can see that. So there are two possibilities. He may be driven by his false ego, his power, position, whatever we say, that again boils down to false ego, or maybe he is driven by the will of the Lord. So we cannot see that. That's why we have to be very careful in dealing with the Vaishnavas. Even though Singhi saw he has committed a mistake, and then he cursed him. Now father is regretting. My dear child, you don't know, you didn't see him. You need to see his background also. He's such a pious ruler. Not only that, he was protected by the Lord in his mother's womb. He is such a dear devotee of the Lord. And other thing is, this Ṛṣi Śamīka is thinking, we are brāhmaṇas and he is kshatriya. They deserve protection from us. That means we have to protect them. Then cursing them, putting them down. So therefore, the point is, devotees of the Lord, they are very careful in dealing with the different situations they face in their life, and especially when it comes to deal with the Vaishnavas. Then towards the end, Prabhupada is raising this question, and he is replying that a question may be raised herein that, since it was the desire of the Lord that Parīkṣit Mahārāja be put into that awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a brāhmaṇa's boy made responsible for this offensive act? Prabhupada responds that because he can be easily forgiven. Therefore, it had to be executed through the son of a brāhmaṇa boy. And then the next question is, why Singhi, he committed this sinful act, then whole Brahmana community became responsible for the consequences. He gives the reference from Varaha Purana, where that Rakshasam Jonima Satya those who are Rakshasas who acted inimically toward the personality of Godhead were not killed by the Lord, are allowed to take birth in the families of brāhmaṇas. So, in this age of Kali, so they are born in the Brahmana family. Prabhupada is explaining that Lord is giving them an opportunity, but they misuse their power. They are misusing the power. After they are born in the Brahmana family, they are puffed up by vanity in becoming a Brahmana, and they degrade. So in that way, so Krishna, he plans everything for us. We have to remain subordinate to the plan of the Supreme Lord, and if we execute our devotional service by following the scripture as it is, then Krishna will take care of us. You have any question or comment? Whatever we have discussed. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for your class. Prabhuji, my question is that Prabhupada wanted to introduce Brahminical culture to the in Kali Yuga, and we want to become Vaishnava. So, what is the difference between a Brahman, a true Brahman, and a true Vaishnava? What is the difference?
What is the difference between
a true Brahman and a true Vaishnava? So, or both are the same. So, what are the difference?
Actually, according to Varnashram system, Vaishnava is beyond the stage of Brahmana. Vaishnavas are not actually in Varnashram system, they are beyond Varnashram system. But Brahmana is included, he is within this Varnashram system. A Brahmana, he may knows Brahman, this Brahman janati iti Brahmana, and in that category many Brahmanas, they are inclined to merge in the existence of Brahman even. But when somebody becomes a Vaishnava, Vishnu Bhakta, he believes on the personality of Godhead, he has a form and he serves him. Okay? And those who are Vaishnavas, they already have the qualities of a Brahmana. A Brahmana may not have the quality of a Vaishnava. Brahmana may be in the mode of, predominantly in the mode of goodness, but Vaishnava never identifies himself and remain in the mode of goodness. He is always trying to transcend, or he is transcendental to the mode of goodness even. Prabhupada wanted to establish this society, and he wanted to make everybody Brahmana, because when we become Brahmana, we at least cultivate the mood of goodness, then there is a high chance that we will be kind of becoming a Vaishnava. We will understand Krishna consciousness better and we will follow the principles in a better way. Therefore, he wanted to form a society where he wanted to create Brahmana. Then you can say in that understanding, Brahmana means actually he wanted us to become Vaishnava. Vishnu Bhakta.
Sometimes we have a fight or break out between Vaishnava Brahmins. There may be some Vaishnava Brahmins who are attacking another Vaishnava Brahmin. So how do you know what side to be on, or how
No, actually we are not supposed to attack, quarrel and fight. This is another kind of, okay. You see, there are different type of people who live in the society. Those who are inspired by mode of passion, or you can say those who are still identifying themselves with some designations, who are still interested to earn name, fame and adorations, they try to take Shastra and they try to kind of and then argue against each other. But a true Vaishnava is never inclined to enter into such kind of practices. For example, when this Pandit who came to Vrindavan, Sanatana Goswami, right? Or Rupa Goswami, both of them, they said, "Oh yeah, come, we will give you. You are the recognized scholar. We cannot, sit with you to do Shastrarth Vichar." Do you think Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are not qualified? They don't know Shastra? They know Shastra better than anybody else. Rupa Manjari, who can know the Siddhanta better than Rupa Manjari? But he very politely ignored, because these are all useless things for us. We don't need those things. That's why sometimes people misunderstand a Vaishnava. Oh, see what he knows. Okay, you are searching for name, fame, adoration. Therefore, you are thinking, oh, he is not taking means, he is not taking the challenge, means he is unqualified. Nonsense, idiot, you are unqualified. You don't see a Vaishnava. Sanatana Goswami, they said, no, they played a very, very, even, you see, another incident when this, Balabhacharya ji, he came to meet with Rupa Goswami when he was writing Bhakti Samhita Sindhu. What is that verse? Bhakti mukti spiha javat pisachi ridivartate tāvad bhakti sukha syatra kṛtam abhyudayam bhavet. He says, no, how can you say bhakti and mukti? Pisachi. But he didn't object, he didn't say anything. See? Not that somebody is right and somebody is wrong. Here we are in this organization, and Prabhupada's expectation from us is we qualify ourselves to go back to Godhead. Therefore, we should not become so much agitated, or we should not feel taste for people are quarreling and fighting and doing all these things, Shastrartha Vichar. Those who are inclined to understand the true Siddhanta, they are inclined to become Vaishnava. Let us come together and understand and nurture the Siddhantas by following the explanation of our Acharya. You are Rupanugas. How Rupa Goswami has been accepting this path, how we have been practicing the process. We need to follow him. We should follow on his footstep. We should not become a referee to judge who is doing what in this world. People are anyway, they are confused. And especially in this age of Kali, there are a lot of confusion going on, even in the name of spirituality also. The problem is, even if you have a sincere desire, you go to those people, if they are not ready to listen to you, then you will be in trouble. Why unnecessarily invite trouble to ourselves? Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, you mentioned in the class that conditioned soul, he has tendency to understand scriptures in his own way. So definitely there is a lot of chances that he will be misguided. So what is the criteria, how he should conduct himself?
Mahājana janagatasya pantha. The way Acharya have explained, we have to follow as it is, without any further interpretation to it. If interpretation is coming, that has to be on the line of the Acharyas. Acharyas have explained everything. They have never left anything. If you find there is something left out, that means that is not required for you. We should know this. If you are smart, you are thinking you are more intelligent than the Acharyas, they have not explained this thing. That means you don't need that. Don't focus on that part. Very simple thing. Who can be more intelligent than Rupa Goswami? At least for my understanding, I can say there can be no one who is more intelligent than Rupa Goswami. There is no one, there will never be one in future. And we are Rupanugas. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It is a guide. Everything is necessary, it is already given there in the principles. Bhagavatam is there, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami has commented, Jiva Goswami has commented, Siddhar Swami has given his commentary, Bir Raghavacharya has given his commentary, so many other acharyas. Okay, read that, understand. If not, then go to those who can understand, who can explain to you. The main thing is, we need to cross-check I am listening to such and such person, is it helping me to become a better Vaishnava day by day? Or by listening to him, I can see I am developing a kind of different kind of attitude, and I am going astray from the path of Vaishnavism. That intelligence a devotee must have. Otherwise, he will be misguided. Very simple. Krishna consciousness is very easy and simple. It's a very, very easy process. When you are simple. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki